Welcome to the Rotary. Our prayers by C.J. Crawford, the pledge by John Coble, four-way test David Weiland, song by David Ellis. Could you please stand?
Join me in prayer. Most high gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together today as like-minded individuals that take such joy in serving our fellow man, because we know that when we are in the service of our fellow man, we are only in the service of our God. We ask for you to bless all our members that could not be here today, or that might be joining us remotely, that all their needs and wants might be fulfilled. Please be with us as we go through the rest of the day, and bless this food to nourish and strengthen our bodies. In the name of thy son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
You face the flag, make sure you stand and never kneel at a great flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I'm going to test your memory. We don't have the banner up. Join me in the four things we think say or do as Rotarians. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
You passed that test.
Oh, that was good. Let's go to song number 6. Song number 6, America the Beautiful. Let's do verses 1, 3, and 4. You better get it, David. All right. Song number 6. Here we go. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, forever waves of grain, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. 3, oh beautiful for heroes grew in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy glory find, till all success be nobleness and every gain divine. Oh, beautiful for patriotry that sees beyond the year, thine alabaster cities gleam undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you, David. What a beautiful day to be a Rotarian. What a gorgeous day to be here. Thank you all for coming. Our crowds are growing, so keep inviting guests. This is Invited Guest Month. And also keep talking to your fellow Rotarians and say, come on, get on back in the club. We want to fill this room. I don't believe we have any visiting Rotarians. We do have guests, Gloria and Annette. I will allow y'all to introduce your guest here in a minute. Josue Lopez brought Savannah Everett. Savannah, please stand. Let everybody see you. Welcome to the Rotary. Savannah, what station? 107.1 KRVA, Sulphur Springs, Greenville Commerce radio station. We might have an application right there. David Ellis brought Carl Jameson.
Carl just came. He's visiting us for the first time.
All right.
He's filled out the application. He's deciding if he's going to turn it back into me.
Carl, what do you do?
I own my own like little political consulting group.
Political
Consulting, yes, ma'am.
Oh, no, I'm kidding. Welcome to the Rotary.
No, I don't do big ones. I do local.
I got you. Okay. Tammy, let's do it. Happy bugs.
Because I'm happy. Come on, we got some happy people I know in the house, don't we? Woo-hoo!
That wasn't the song.
All right.
Under pressure. I would like to announce that next week at 11 a.m., right here, same day, Wednesday, I'm going to be conducting or giving or presenting, the right word, a new member orientation. And I'll send out a group email through Club Runner, but I need to know how many attending so that I can have enough material, propaganda, to give you following the meeting, okay?
What was that date, David?
The date?
1 week from today.
Thank you.
The 28th, July 28th,
At 11 a.m. right here.
at 11 a.m. All right, we have a happy lady here. There we go.
Well, I'm happy to have my daughter and my granddaughter with us today, Ashley and Mariah. And but I want to remind everybody that some of your stuff on the back here is out of date. I do not compare this to what's online. So if you want it updated, let me know personally. Thank you.
All righty, got another happy man in the house.
I'm happier than she is that my family's here.
All right. Anybody else got more happy people in the house? Don't everybody speak at once. All right. Here we go. Okay, and I got Miss Sickles up there too. She's happy.
I'm just happy that I had $1 again.
Happy to have $1. All right, Miss Sickles. I'm coming. Do we have anyone else happy in the house? Did everybody get your tickets?
I got one. I got
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, we just want you to keep putting that money in.
Keep putting it in.
And I'm just happy that I could be here, and in about 1 month, I think I have a vacation and I'm going to the beach. I can't wait. Any more?
I have a happy, if I can find it. Get Malachi money out of here. Okay, I am happy, so happy that we have almost a room full of happy people.
Yes.
Like Debbie said, we are growing. We are growing. So, do anybody need any tickets? Any more tickets? Before we give away this $1.5 million. No? All right.
Ticket? He wants a ticket.
Oh, woo-hoo.
$2 buys you 3, $1 buys you 1. Just in case you didn't know how that worked.
Okay, just one? I would have said 1.5 tickets.
No, $2.
Okay, let me get you 3.
Oh, while she's doing that to do the drawing, I also heard a rumor, we got a brand new application, and his name is Robert Earl Jordan.
Woo!
Might as well vote him in, we don't have an Earl yet.
I was gonna say, can we put him to work first? There you go, buddy. Let me get you the tickets.
Katie already got him on parking duty for the CPC.
There you go. No.
Well, she's still doing that. I got something else to be happy about too. I finally submitted the special event app on the CPC. Woo!
Insurance. All right, do we have any more that need these lucky tickets for $1.7 million? I know. Fast. Y'all have to find a lot of tickets.
It's a marketing project.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me get this out of the way.
Marketing process.
So, I am taking a spade out when I buy mine. Okay, all right. I had to do that. The ticket has to do what up in the box. All right, here we go. One of the beautiful ladies. the ticket. Don't look at the ground.
Look at her grandma's ticket. Watch this before that.
There we go. All right, everybody, are you ready? 822. Woo-hoo! 69.
No.
Oh, maybe. 822. 69.
What?
Oh, 69. Oh, I had forgot what I said. 4.
Oh.
What's the number again?
822 694.
694.
Oh, all right, let's get back here.
Yeah, we're not gonna allow that no more. Y'all gonna have to step up to the plate, get your tickets whenever else is their ticket.
All right, let me see. Last one, 5 and let's see if we get that $1.4 million.
Oh, now we're down.
1.4. Yeah, that was it, didn't it? Okay, here we go. Drum roll, please.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Not that one. Not that one.
You probably had it. Oh, doggone it. 6 and diamond.
All right, then, send us back again.
All righty. A little housekeeping as always. When you come into the room, we'd like you to do a couple of things. First, check into Facebook. Let them know you're here at the Rotary. Let them know you're here at the Post Office Foundation. But check into Facebook, and could everybody please turn their phones on silent, vibrate, or off, whatever you know how to do. Also, I want to make an announcement real quick. We are on a kickoff. The board decided to do a kickoff campaign for the Post Office Foundation. It's strictly for donations to the Post Office Foundation. And we are going to be starting a campaign. Katie's going to fill you in on a little bit of it, but you don't have to go online. You don't have to donate online. You can just bring your checks to us, okay? Made out to the Post Office Rotary Post Office Foundation. I know that I plead for money a lot of times, but I don't think none of us really realized. We all know we were hit hard through COVID. They could not rent this building out nearly all of last year because of COVID. And that hurts. And we're going to start fining for that somehow. I just said silence your phone. Okay. Okay, so anyway, Katie, I believe I'm going to let you go ahead right now.
While they're over there messing with that, I'll do this. I've got a, oh, there we go. I've got a couple of announcements to make. The first one is, I know it's at the top of your placemat, kind of on the right-hand side of your placemat, but on August 4th, that is a Wednesday, I need volunteers to be up here. I will be here early in the morning, maybe not 6, but maybe closer to 6:37. But we're going to be doing it throughout the entire morning or however long it takes. Hopefully we can be done before the Rotary meeting that day. We need desperately to clean out this front room, and what we're going to be doing is I just need people here to help move all of that stuff out of that room. We're going to be storing it somewhere, putting a tarp over it for right now so that we can begin redoing that room, scraping the peeling paint and all of that nastiness off of there, and getting some shelving units with a door and a lock and stuff so that we can keep our stuff safe behind it. So I just need manpower that day to literally get everything out so that we can then begin organizing, please. That'll be August 4th. The next thing I would like to announce is, I did announce this last week, but Alan West was here. There was a lot of exciting things happening, so I want to make sure to say this again. We met last Tuesday in this room and talked about the Satellite Club for human trafficking. I was able to collect 10 applications that day, one of which actually was a commerce one, so then I went down to 9, but I've collected 2 more. So we are now up to 11 members in the Satellite Club. I would like to invite you all, everybody who is interested. You cannot be a member of this club and the Satellite Club. So what we are doing is we are calling any members of this club who would like to participate. They're going to be Rotary Club of Greenville partners. So you are more than welcome to participate. You just cannot hold a board position and you cannot vote. So we're just going to be there to support the new club as they progress through all of the different hoops they have to jump through to become a club. So please invite anybody that you know that might be interested in the human trafficking topic and wanting to do something for this community on behalf of that satellite club. So that will be on August 3rd, Tuesday, August 3rd at 5:30 right here in this room, okay? The next thing, Debbie just told you that we are going to be kicking off a campaign that we're going to be looking for donors. So we're going old school on this, where it will literally be letters mailed out to people. Again, reach out to other business owners, other people in the community that you know that would like to save this building and update the roof. We need a new roof. We need this, just look around the room. We need paint. We need new curtains. That ladies' bathroom, can y'all testify? We need some updating in that ladies' restroom.
Oh wait, but we do have 3 new commodes and all the faucets.
We do have new commodes and
Yay,
faucets in
David
there.
and Bob,
Thankfully, David and Bob took care of that.
What else do you need
In addition to that, my 50th birthday is this year, December 14th. And so rather than planning a big party or something like that, I did a GoFundMe account, and I am hoping to raise $50,000 by my 50th birthday. We already have $985 in there, so that's awesome.
In just a couple
So
days.
please go onto Facebook on my page and share that information and recommend to anybody you talk to, please donate. And the last thing is, let's all watch Bob.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
You need to come this way, just, there you are. Right there.
No pressure, Bob.
Make sure to turn the camera around.
I think it's your bifocal.
Just whack it with that.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
I
Okay.
got it.
The last thing, very good, Bob. That was excellent. The last thing I have to say is Cotton Patch Challenge oriented. And I was in Paris this past weekend at the Tour de Paris handing out discount codes. And I have to tell you, I'm so super excited that as of today, we have 197 registered. And that is awesome. This day, 2 years ago, we had 23 registered.
Yes.
So that's awesome. I can't wait. So spread the word on that too.
Thank you, Katie. Katie is a really a terrific Rotarian. She serves with pride, and if you want something done, she's definitely your lady. I cannot thank her enough for taking on everything she's taken on this year for us, and especially for the CPC. That is the Cotton Patch Challenge is our biggest fundraiser of the year. And this GoFundMe, we all have it in our hearts that we want to help, and we are going to support this foundation, and we're going to make this building better, and we're going to be proud of it. We have a couple of banners coming. Thank you, board, for approving that to be ordered, and it's just basically we can hang them out there. It says meet here on Wednesday, and we got to take them down every now and then. I heard the city don't like you leaving them up all the time. We're gonna see what they say, if we have to maybe get a permit.
The city manager may or may not be a Rotarian, just saying.
That's true. Okay, and now we have a beautiful check presentation and awards. Gloria, our Veterans Chair, could you please come to the front of the room? And with somebody when we get ready to take a picture, since Larry is not here today.
Okay, would Mariah Rios and Bailey Worrell come on up? Okay, in both our Veteran Scholarship Program and our regular scholarship program, we just did not get many applications this year. And I think a lot of that had to do with the kids weren't in school. But we did beat the bushes for these two young ladies, not too hard, but to be all open and honest, Bailey is Annette and David's granddaughter. Of course, Mariah is Bob and my granddaughter.
No, it's Annette and David's granddaughter.
Okay.
I said Annette and David.
I know, he said David's
David.
granddaughter.
He's interrupting.
Both of them know that their grandparents are very involved in Rotary and have drugged them to events. Bailey, she said she's attended many meetings with David and Annette and volunteered at Radchamp Rodeo, which is the Community Seeds Rodeo, and at other Community Seeds events. And she's honored to be a small part of the Greenville Rotary Club with the motto of service above self. And through her scholarship degree, she's going for sociology. She hopes to help many people in a similar way. Mariah has, she spent most of her time playing soccer, to tell you the truth. But she also volunteered in the Haunted Landmark. She loved being in the baby room. She always dressed up like a little girl, scared people. And then if she wasn't working, she drug her friends to the Haunted Landmark. So she helped both ways. She also helped with Fish Ministries, packing food back there on the back of Juice Lot, and helped for Tools to School, packing backpacks and stuff like that. So it is with great pleasure I present our 2 scholarship winners. And we will have them say a word. I'm going to have them say a word first.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm going to Parish Junior College in Greenville for sociology, and I want to be a counselor for children that have dealt with abuse or neglect. And yeah, and I thank y'all very much for my scholarship.
Where do you want to go after PJ?
I want to transfer to A&M Commerce.
Okay, all right.
I will be attending Texas Tech University in the fall, and I'll be majoring in biology with hopes to pursue a career in dermatology. And I would like to say thank you to the Rotary Club for granting me this scholarship.
Are you getting to play soccer?
She's tired. Plus, she's all honors college, so.
Yeah, it's a very sad day when you've been a soccer mom for 14 years and then it's the last game. Bob, Annette, and David.
Move to your right so we
let's
can
get the road.
cut some heads.
Bob and Annette. I mean, David and Annette, Bob. Ashley, come on. This is for a pig share.
Where's your camera?
I know. Just come on this side, yeah.
There you go. I want you all, you get here by your child.
David,
David, get on down here by your child.
Quit trying to claim me.
Sorry. It's gonna be your head or, sorry. It was fine.
Who's first?
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 10.
Okay, look this way.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We didn't say those are
You know, dermatology is good, but we have a free optometry program at Texas Tech.
Well, that could be a second. Another thing, August the 3rd is the satellite meeting here for human trafficking. I just want y'all to put that on your calendars, invite people, show up. If you just kind of want to know what's it about, you're not obligated as a Rotarian because you can just come to the meeting, so it's not like you're a member. Those meetings are only going to be once a month, I also want to add. And then on August the 5th, me and Wayne and myself and Katie and David are going to go to district awards ceremony, and if anybody else would like to go, registration is now open. Please, I guess come to me and kind of let us know, so if we had to actually do a table instead of just do 4 tickets or something, we could do that. And now without further ado, I'm sorry we're having to speed this up. You guys, this is a great program, and the 3rd, the satellite meeting right here at 5:30. Dwayne, are you introducing the program today? Well, come on. Dwayne's introducing our program. Thank you.
Probably don't need it.
Hello.
There we go. Our program today is Bob May, and he's going to be talking about baseball. And no further ado, Bob, the program is yours, sir.
Thank you. And again, congratulations to the two winners, and hope you have a great career, whatever you do. It's good to be back doing it live. I've been doing baseball Zoom talks, and I've been able to do those in Chicago, Baltimore, and different places. But it's much better to be in front of a live audience. It's like having box seats behind the dugout, you know, if you're a baseball game. Okay, I have given my baseball talk. If you've seen me before, it's going to be similar. The talk looks different, and plus, I don't have a script, which means you're not going to hear the same thing that I said the last time, because I just wing it.
Who can remember?
All I got to do is remember which way to push the button to advance it. So page down. Okay, that works. Okay. Definition of blackball. I've written 2 books, and I talk about honoring blackball. And what that to me was segregated baseball. Because back in the 1800s, there were blacks playing professional baseball. In fact, until 1887, you know, they were in the major leagues. But in 1887, there was an incident where Cap Anson, who was the manager and star player for the Chicago White Stockings, complained because there was a black catcher on the Toledo Blue Hens. And he told the manager, because Anson was a manager as well as first baseman, said, if he's playing, we're leaving. So they decided not to let Fleetwood Walker, the catcher, play in that game. Well, that then led to the end of the season, all the major league owners had a meeting. Nothing was written down in this meeting. They just said, no more blacks. And from 1887 to 1947, blacks kept playing baseball, but they just weren't playing in the major leagues, which was a shame because they were as good as the white ball players. Oops. Okay. So anyway, that period from 1887 to 1947, blacks played in, from 1887 to 1919, they just more or less set up teams, would play games. They tried to start leagues, but they never had somebody who really could administrate them, or they just didn't care about it. So players would quit teams and go to another team, so there was no control. And finally in 1920, Andrew Foster, who had been a great pitcher in black baseball, started the Negro National League. And from then till 1947, when Jackie Robinson integrated baseball, they had league play. Now, it wasn't as structured as the major league, so there still might be guys that might, like Satchel Paige, for one thing, was really the first free agent in baseball. You know, free agency came in 1975. Well, Satchel Paige, when he was pitching for the Pittsburgh Crawfords or Kansas City Monarchs, if there was some tournament and some guy said, hey, Satchel, I'll give you $5,000 for the weekend if you come pitch in my tournament that I'm having, he'd leave his team and go play. But he'd always be welcome back, you know. So in a sense, he was the first free agent, though not by the legal process. He knew his value and he used it. This is a picture that I really, really feel good about. I had a friend of mine, I was a baseball historian, and a guy said to me, he says, you need to meet Monty Irvin. And I knew Monty Irvin as a kid, not personally, but having seen the New York Giants play the Boston Braves, Monty Irvin was a very good major league outfielder. In fact, he was in 2 World Series. In fact, he had a fantastic World Series in 1952 against the New York Yankees, but the Yankees won it. But he hit like 460 in the series. And then in 54, he was on that giant team that shocked the Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Indians in 1954 won 111 games and lost 43, but lost 4 straight games to the Giants in the World Series. Now, does anybody remember there was something famous about that World Series? In fact, it's called the catch. Now, some of you old timers, I'm going to test you. So what was the catch all about in the 1954 World Series? Willie Mays. Who said that? Very good. Exactly right. Willie Mays in the Polo Grounds, which is really a football stadium that they played baseball in. It had very short lines. You could get cheap home runs if you pulled the ball, but if you hit it to center field, it was 500 feet to the wall. Well, Mays ran back probably ran at least 45, 50 yards to catch a 480-foot drive by Vic Wirtz. And then I believe Mays doubled up a guy who was on base, who was running around the base, thinking that was definitely a triple or an inside the park home run. But Mays made the catch. So, anyway, I was told that Monty Irvin lived in Houston in an assisted living place. So I was able to take my grandson Caleb to meet Monty Irvin. This was actually the second time we saw him, because the first time we saw him, I was writing the book. The second time we saw him, we brought him the book, because Monty Irvin is one of the black players in my book from the Negro Leagues. Though he did get on and play in the majors, he was also a star in the Negro Leagues. From 1900 to 1919 was, as I said, mostly independent baseball teams. Smokey Joe Williams was a great pitcher. Pop Lloyd, shortstop, were some of the early stars of the black ball era. In 1920, the Negro National League was formed with the Chicago American Giants, the Indianapolis ABCs, the St. Louis Giants, Detroit Stars, and Kansas City Monarchs. In 1923, the Eastern Colored League, another league, was formed, the Hilldale Daisies. Does anybody know where the Hilldale Daisies played? That was a suburb of Philadelphia. It was really a Philadelphia team, but it was called the Hilldale Daisies. Don't ask me how they got the nickname Daisies, I couldn't tell you. Atlantic City Baccarat, Baltimore Black Sox, New York Lincoln Giants, Brooklyn Royals, and the Harrisburg Giants. In 1924 was the first Negro League World Series. Now, World Series in the Negro League really wasn't much of anything, and it didn't occur every year. It was what became a bigger thing with them was in 1933, they had the East-West All-Star Game. But I'll get to that in a minute. In 1926 is when Satchel Paige began his career. Rube Foster, the guy who formed the first Negro National League, had a breakdown. And in 1930, the first night baseball game was played in the Negro Leagues, not in the major leagues. Now, it was a rather dangerous setup. The owner of the Kansas City Monarchs was a white man. His name was Wilkerson. And he had portable lights, like one behind first base, one behind third base, and one out in center field. Now, that's rather dangerous for the ball players. But they actually played night baseball in 1930. It was 1938 before the major leagues had. Now, the major leagues had them, in the stadium. It was a lot safer. But night baseball started in the Negro Leagues. 1930, Josh Gibson began his career. Anybody know anything about Josh Gibson? Well, Josh Gibson, a ranking of the top 100 baseball players done in about 2000, 2001 by Bill James, baseball historian. He ranked Josh Gibson as the 9th best baseball player in history. The first white catcher was Yogi Berra, and he was ranked the 39th best player. So Gibson was good. Gibson hit anywhere, he probably hit 100 to 150 more home runs than Babe Ruth. In fact, in 1943, the team he played for, the Homestead Grays, played their home games at Griffith Stadium in Washington, which was the Washington Senators. In fact, what a lot of people don't know is that Negro League Baseball, the Major League Baseball owners were smart. If they're going to be out of town, if the Yankees are out of town, why have Yankee Stadium empty? The New York Black Yankees would rent the stadium, you know, and play. So the Major League owners had no problem with black teams playing. They get revenue when normally they wouldn't be getting revenue. But anyway, Griffith Stadium in Washington, Griffith Stadium was a very difficult ballpark for a right-handed hitter to hit a home run. In most ballparks, center field, 420 feet, like my Boston Red Sox, it's 420 feet to center field in Boston, okay? The left field line in Washington during the 30s was 424 feet. In 77 American League games played, in other words, when the Washington Senators were home, there were 13 home runs hit by all American League players in 77 games. Josh Gibson played, I think, maybe 23 games there for the Negro Leagues. He had 8 home runs himself. And he is supposedly hit one out of Yankee Stadium, which no one else has ever done. Now, whether he did or not, I can't prove that. But that guy could hit. Now, the sad part of the 30s is if Major League Baseball had been smart, they'd have brought these black players into the major leagues. Because the 30s was a tough era for everybody because of, you know, the Depression. And if those great black players would have been playing with white ball players, that could have made baseball have a very prosperous 30s, which they did not have because that did not happen. I mean, just think, if Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige could have been there to play against Babe Ruth and some of the others, that would have been something special. Now, in 1933, Major League Baseball had their inaugural All-Star game. Well, the Negro League started one about 2 months after the Major League had it. The Negro League started one that was extremely successful. It was called the East-West All-Star Game. It was always played in Comiskey Park in Chicago. Why? They wanted to have it where if blacks wanted to come to the game, they could take a train from different places. It got to be like, you know, the Kentucky Derby, the whole week of the Kentucky Derby. The race is on Saturday in Louisville, but the whole week is a party, you know, stuff going on. So by having that East-West Negro League All-Star game in Chicago, they could get black people that come from all over the country, and it got to be a real social gathering. And it was very, very good baseball. And by the way, I'm not going to get through everything because this is just, I'm just talking. When you say, hey, it's time for me to stop, I stop. Okay. Let me just give you a few quotes. Honus Wagner was considered the second best player in baseball behind Babe Ruth. He was a white shortstop, played in the early 1900s for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Well, he was honored to have John Pop Lloyd, who was a black shortstop who played at the same time, to be called the Black Wagner. Wagner says it was an honor to be compared to Pop Lloyd. So, I mean, if you think the white ball players didn't know how good the black ball players, oh, yes, they did. In Harlem, the Lincoln Giants transplanted from Lincoln, Nebraska, had a pitcher, William Smokey Joe or Cyclone Williams. And he hooked up in many a memorable duel with 3 great white pitchers, Grover Alexander, Walter Johnson, and Rube Marquardt. He beat all 3 of them. Now, they may have beat him too, but he would face them, and he was every bit a pitcher as those great pitchers were in that day. Leroy Satchel Paige. Here's a guy who just was an unbelievable pitcher and great showman. In fact, the last time he pitched was 1965. He was 59 years old. Well, the owner of the Kansas City Athletics at the time, he was I'm trying to remember who the guy was, but he was a guy he was a showman. He figured, I'm going to have Satchel Paige pitch 3 innings against the Boston Red Sox that night. He pitched the last 3 innings of the game, gave up no runs, no hits, no, 1 hit. Who is the only, who was the last player to get a hit off of Satchel Paige? It's the Boston Red Sox in the 60s. Now, I even knew this. It was Carl Yastrzemski. Okay? He got the last hit against him. Now, Carl Yastrzemski, to me, I have good feelings about Carl Yastrzemski and bad feelings. The first, it was a bad feeling. Reason being, my dream when my dad took me to see Boston Red Sox in 1949, I saw Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. My dream was, I'm replacing Williams in left field for the Red Sox. So once Yaz got that assignment, I was pretty depressed, because I figured it was going to be me. But I did have something happen nice about 6 years ago, because Ted Williams, when he was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, he said he was lucky to have played the game of baseball. But what's sad is Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, and the great Negro League players are not in the Hall of Fame. Once Williams spoke up, 5 years later, Satchel was in. Now there's 39 former Negro League players that are in. So anyway, in 2014, I was asked to give a talk to an African American church in Dallas for a father-son breakfast on a Saturday. So I give a talk and I mentioned the stuff about Williams. I had one of the dads come up and give me a hug and said, Bob, you're the new Ted Williams. I go, yes! I finally got to be Ted. Of course, I wanted to be Ted with a bat in my hand, but I'll take it. Now, in 1948, Bill Beck, the owner of the Cleveland Indians, and Bill Beck was kind of a rebel kind of owner. The other owners in the American League didn't really like Beck. Beck he wasn't one of the rich owners, but he was a very smart guy. So in 1947, when Jackie Robinson came up with the Dodgers, he got Larry Doby to be outfielder for the Indians. Well, in 1948, he signs Satchel Paige, July 1st, for $10,000 to pitch the rest of the year for the Cleveland Indians. He's 42, okay? So before he signs him, Bill Beck says to Lou Boudreau, who is his star shortstop and also the manager of the Indians, he says, hey, come take a few swings at Satchel. Satchel threw 20 pitches. The best player in the American League could do against him, he hit 2 foul balls. And so, in fact, Boudreau said, sign him up. Well, that made the difference for the Cleveland Indians that year. They ended up in a 3-way battle with my Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Satchel Paige, for the last half of the season, won 6 games and lost 1. He pitched before the largest night game crowd in baseball history at the time, 75,000 people in Cleveland, and he beat the Chicago White Sox and pitched the whole game when he's 42. Now, he didn't do that much in the World Series, but the Cleveland Indians won the World Series. You know how many World Series the Indians have won since 1948? They're still looking for it. So if they didn't sign Satchel Paige in 1948, they wouldn't have won it that year either. In fact, maybe my Red Sox would have. Okay, well, here, again, not sure of time, but hopefully I can get this story in. I told you about Rube Foster, who was a great pitcher, and he was a great manager, and then he was also the guy that started the Negro Leagues. When he was a manager, one of the things, baseball in the Negro Leagues was a lot more aggressive than in the major leagues. They did a lot of things. Everybody could bunt. In the major leagues today, I don't think there's anybody that can bunt. And but they used to do what was called a bunt and run. Now, for any of you that are baseball fans, you've all heard of the hit and run. What that is the batter who's up is going to try to probably hit the ball to the opposite field, like to right field, and the guy on first is going to take off, and it's a hit and run play. And if he happens to hit a line drive to somebody who catches, it's an easy double play. But it gets a guy running, has a chance to get first to third on a single, easily score on a double. They used to do a bunt and run with the same objective in the Negro Leagues. Cool Papa Bell was one of the fastest players in the Negro Leagues and in baseball. So they're playing an all-star game against a major league team, and the catcher was a catcher for the Red Sox. I think his name was Wagner. And he called the pitcher, first baseman, and the third baseman. He said, look, Bell's on first base. They're going to do this bunt and run. So here's what we're going to do to fool them. He says, since the third baseman, the first baseman, and the pitcher will come in to get the ball, but he says he's going to do the catcher. I'm going to run down and cover third base so that when Bell comes around, instead of nobody being there, I'll be there. So sure enough, Bell takes off for second base. There's a perfect bunt laid down, and I don't know whether the first baseman picks it up, the third baseman. The catcher's waiting there at third. In the meantime, Bell is almost to second by the time the ball is bunted. He runs right by third base. I mean, steps on third base as the catcher catches the ball, then runs to home plate. Who's covering home plate? There ain't nobody there. So he scores from first base on a bunt that might have went 6 feet. Okay, and then as I said, Josh Gibson, great catcher. That's probably in Griffith Stadium. And this guy was just an outstanding ball player. Time? Okay. Does anybody have any questions? And I do have, if anybody is interested, I do have my 2 books back there that I wrote that honor the Negro League players. And I want to thank everybody for putting up with me. And if anybody wants to come talk to me, I'll be back there. Thank you.
All right, Dick, it's up to you. You're up. Up to bat.
Thank you, Mr. May. We appreciate you visiting our club. You've been here a few times, and you always do have wonderful stories, and it amazes me how much knowledge he has about baseball. So thank you again, Mr. May, for coming. Real quick, on the placemat, we do have cleanup crews. Make sure you bus your own table. Cleanup crew. Make sure you help clean up, get the trash out, and what all we're supposed to do, because another group meets here in the mornings. And I believe that that's really about all we have today. I want to thank our scholarships. Thank you, Mariah. Good luck. Bailey, too. That'll be Rotary for today.